I had heard about what was going on the Mauna several years ago. The first contested case hearing at the county building, which was just like 4 years ago last week. I did some videotaping of some of the testimony at that time and some of the other events going on outside. Then in Honolulu in November of 2014, I testified at a Board of Land and Natural Resources hearing in Honolulu against the renewal of the master lease. And so at that point I was still involved with attempting to protect the Mauna in a faraway kind of sense. After April 2nd of 2015, when the first arrests happened during the first attempts at construction, I learned about what was going on and came up on April 15th of 2015 and started camping up there and documenting what was going on, and met a lot of the people who are involved with this case. And certain days, usually was Mondays, we'd go up and do a site check of the TMT access site to see if there were any changes, if there had been any decisions made to move any equipment or anything like that. And during one of those visits, several oil spills were noticed by myself and the people I was with. The first one was on the loop road where there was a large dump truck with a large flatbed trailer parked. And there were two fairly large spills there, which we didn't have a tape measure at the time. We threw a cigarette lighter down to get some scale of the size of the oil. Subsequent visits along the newly constructed or attempts to construct the access road, we noticed the machinery there, which was 2 bulldozers and 2 excavators, which appeared to be leaking some kind of viscous substance, which I just say were oil leaks. From the machinery, down through the machinery, onto treads, and then onto the ground. A lot of people were against the construction of the TMT, yet seeing that this machinery was allowed to produce this leakage, and the only attempt at cleanup was what I would call puppy pads, kind of like diaper material that appeared to be stuffed underneath the equipment or on the equipment and secured with rocks. And in some places not secured well, and oil continued to leak onto the ground. On June 9th, and I'm sorry I didn't include this in my witness testimony, I just found the date today and this conversation I had. On June 9th, I called the EPA in Honolulu, and I spoke to a Thomas Brand and informed him, and this was June 9th, 2015, I informed him of the oil leaks, and he said he was going to have a visit to the Mauna in July, and we exchanged contact information. But that was all the action with Mr. Brand. Then on June 12th, I received a Facebook message from Ms. Candace Fujikani, or should I say Dr. Fujikani, that she was at a Board of Land and Natural Resources hearing in Honolulu about the Mauna on that date. And she had showed some of my photographs of these oil leaks to the people there at the board at that time. And she said they were very interested, and also that there was a rep from KHON Channel 2 News that wanted to contact me about the pictures and if I would agree to have them air them, which I did. I contacted them and forwarded photographs to them, which they then aired. I can't remember if it was that night or the next night, June 12th or 13th. And that was just shortly before the events that happened on June 24th, of which I was also present and stood the line on that date. So my testimony here today is that the oil leaks are evidence that criteria 4 and 6 and 8 are not being met. I am not an attorney. I'm not a geologist. I don't know much about heavy equipment. I document things. And from my personal observation, it seemed to be a situation where, as sensitive as things are on the Mauna for the Hawaiian community, a disregard and a disrespect to leave that leaky oil equipment in that condition without practicing drip protection or using best management practices, as Glover does when I visited their location at Hakalau, where they're doing road work. A friend of mine that works there told me to speak to someone there about the best management practices for drip protection. And that's not being done with the equipment on the Mauna. And my position is that they've just done a little portion of road, maybe a mile, and all 4 pieces of equipment were dripping oil. I don't see how they could possibly complete an entire project without massive spillage and damage to the environment. Thank you.